It's great to be here this evening. It's great to be in a new venue. Touch my chin with it. It is great to be in a new venue and great to be here this evening. And this is one of the most special parties of the year and our most important fundraising event. Special thanks once again to Julia, to the members of the auction committee. A shout out to Kathleen Flaherty, who founded this auction. And finally, thanks to my friend Marty Goldenson, my close friend for over 5 decades, for making this a success. For me, on a personal note, I was most gratified this season because I completed 40 years of singing with the Oratorio Society. And what better way to celebrate that than with the B minor Mass. So thank you again all for being here. Thank you for your generosity. Keep those paddles up and let me introduce Ken, who you probably know.
Ever since the day Richard asked me to consider this job, I've been so grateful. I am so grateful to be here with you all tonight, and what an amazing example of everything that we do in rehearsal, week to week to week to week. We are together doing things, and then here we are tonight doing great things that will make it possible for us to do the things that we do at Carnegie Hall. So thank you all for your participation, and I'm grateful to Marty, I'm grateful to Kathleen, and Pamela, and everyone, and Julia, who's taking this. It's just amazing. So of course I had a lot of things that I wanted to say, but then I get really like a nervous Nelly because I think we have an incredible momentum going here, and I want to keep the momentum. So, okay, just a couple of things. A little food for thought. First of all, it's been a great season. Great season. And secondly, I will speak of the next season in a little bit, but it's going to be really spectacular. I have this note, and I get tons of these. I save them. I actually do. That doesn't mean that any of you who have not emailed me need to email me. It's okay. I get about 150 a day. But really, it's so awesome. From Jane Woodside, dear Kent. She sent this just like the day before yesterday. I hope you will forgive my lateness, but I still want to congratulate you and the chorus. Now you know Jane. There is not an ounce of bullshit in this woman. It was a spectacular concert. The clarity in bringing out each most important part at the right time was amazing, and the et incarnatus was breathtaking. The men are to be commended for their part in the et resurrexit, which is always difficult. She speaks from experience. I can imagine the nights that Lyndon went home and said, Jane, how am I going to do this, you know? But you did. They nailed it. That's you, the men. And then she said something nice about me, which you don't need to hear. But then here's this other one. Now, look, as an organist, I'm used to this idea that we play, we pour our heart into things, and we're stuck up in a room. And so we don't see people. And then maybe 5 weeks, 3 months later, somebody comes up and says, that thing you played on March 27th hit me in the right place at the right time in my life, and I have to tell you, I made it through the week because of it. You know, we get those kinds of things. So this is one of those things, and I just delighted this. I got this from, you must have gone to my website or our website, This dear Mr. Tritle, I live in South Dakota and had researched on Google the schedule at Carnegie Hall and saw that in the days that I was going to be in New York for the first time in over 50 years, the only performance scheduled was string concert on Sunday afternoon, May 7th at 3 p.m. My Amtrak train did not get there early enough to make it to their performance. So the next morning, I planned to tour Carnegie Hall, and as I stood in line waiting to buy tickets, I mentioned that to the lady ahead of me in line. She said that the group to which she belonged would be performing that evening. So I bought a ticket. I don't know her last name, but her first name is Judy, as I asked her to sign my receipt, which she did. He wanted an autograph. I was sitting in the nosebleed section, so I could not pick her out, but she said that she would be wearing blue framed glasses. Trivia question. Now for the important part. I want to thank you and the Oratorio Society of New York for an absolutely thrilling and beautiful performance. I could not have been more pleased had I been there. I get goosebumps here. I could not have been more pleased had I been there for the performance of Harry Belafonte in 1957 or Al Hirt sometime after that, both of whose albums I bought. And then, of course, he says, as people do, if you made a CD of that performance, I would be very interested in purchasing a copy. Thank you for the great joy. Very sincerely, Lanny Stritcherts, Sioux Falls, South Dakota. So, we know week in and week out what it means for us to be together, and the quality of the experience, and the immersion in the music, and the total concentration, and the lack of devices, and the lack of politics, you know, the abundance of farm stories, maybe, you know, but you put up with it so beautifully. What we do is so spectacular and so important, but it's also good, and I wanted to consider that this year, the full circle of what we do. And I adore that Steve and his team have picked this idea that live music making is where it's at, because that's what this note is about. Here's somebody who didn't even notice, who stood behind a soprano or alto, most likely, in line, and was invited to our performance and had a life-transforming experience. It's so important. We all know that. But now's a great time for us to really celebrate that together. So I applaud you. And I applaud David Rosenmeyer, David Ralph, and Anna Lenti. Absolutely. Now, if I was really indulgent, I was going to read from you, to you, actually. Yes, I did have an extra glass of wine. I was going to read to you from the 26 pages that the reading Don Jamie sent me of what we've done since 2005, because it is stunning. It's really stunning to see the breadth and scope of the repertoire that we have done together. The sheer number of premieres, of classic greats, things that we've done when you realize it's been 10 years since we did B minor, that it's been 10 years since we did Brahms' Requiem. I'm going to cut to the end and talk about this season in just a moment. I thought that the Mass in C minor and the Bruckner Today were amazing. And what was amazing to me was to see through you the spectacular experience of the Bruckner that seemed to be the great surprise of the evening. We all knew the Mozart was amazing, but when we came through that final C major, high C's in the soprano section, you're already wailing away. It was just incredible, and the magic in your eyes, to me, is something I'll remember the rest of my life. just fantastic. Messiah was fabulous as ever. And we had, oh, let me see, what am I looking at? That was, yes, that's right. When did we do 2000? Oh, yes. No. This is Uruguay. It feels like a year ago. I saw Orf Carmina, and I thought I'd got my dates all messed. But of course, we did the first movement of Orf Carmina in Uruguay. That was fantastic. Doing the Mozart and the Berger again was fine, even if the horns did screw up in that particular place. It was great. Our solos were great. The quality of the experience was great. It was amazing. To be together to do the Britain War Requiem at St. John the Divine, I thank you from the bottom of my heart for taking on that project. I know it was a challenge and a great taxation for many, especially after doing Uruguay. I would say that War Requiem was planned first. But even after doing Uruguay, it was really amazing to do that War Requiem together. And that was an experience that I think it was, again, the magic in your eyes, the magic in the eyes of those kids who came through experiencing something like that, which you know what that's about. They didn't know what that was about. Now they know what that's about. That was really, really, really important. And I thank you for that. And then the quick turnaround into what was a spectacular B minor. It was just amazing. And I felt on every level. And Arthur's sitting over there. You see the cello anyway. But he's you all know that Arthur is my soulmate and my muse, and we've been together now 28, going on 29 years. We dare straight people to make it that long. And you cannot. But it's been such a dream of a lifetime to actually do what we do together. Because when you see us on stage at Carnegie, you know that every one of those orchestra members is hand-chosen and thought through by Arthur, but we talk about it. Just like we talk about all kinds of things that we deal with together. He's my sounding board for our work together too. And it's something I can't imagine being a conductor and not having that kind of support system. It's just
So when we came to be a second cry now, but as we came to the B minor mass,
and with the beautiful, beautiful playing of the orchestra, and the beautiful singing of the soloists, I thought it was our most finely matched, group of soloists ever. The soprano alto duet, the soprano tenor duet, to come to the end, and the Benedictus, and as a conductor, not to feel nervous about is the tenor going to be okay. It was really amazing. And you guys, the chorus, just ate it up. It was so clear and present and alive and vital. It was just, and in tune and on time. So it's been a great season. Folks, next year we have coming up early, now in our earlier years, we would have only done Brahms in March or May. But we're in a different place now. So we're doing Brahms in November, as we did 10 years ago with the tragic overture of Brahms. So we'll be doing that and doing the Brahms Requiem. And then, that's with Susanna Phillips, who I will remind you sang with us in 2005-06, when she was not even on the scene yet. She's just amazing. And John Chest, you can check him out on Google. Wonderful baritone. She recommended him. I checked him out. He's on. So we've got a great Brahms Requiem. And then listen to this lineup for Messiah soloists. Katie Lewick is coming back. Amazing. Our solo comp winner, Sarah Murphy, is coming back. One of our favorites, Nick Pond, or Fawn, but Nick Pond is coming back, right? And also, am I right, solo comp winner, Deshaun Burton. That's our Messiah. And then we're working now, and I want to give a shout out to Janet Pluckman. Janet. Not only the solo competition and the semifinals and all that surround that, but our actual season planning, programming. She is our connection on my right hand to the soloists and to communication and to casting. So, what we are doing is Bezat Rajmarans, we are one, and Paul Moravec's commission, Sanctuary Road. This is May. We have 2 premieres. Bezat's piece, now Bezat is a Persian-American, Iranian-American composer. He teaches at Juilliard. I've done his works. I love his language. We Are One is the poem by Sadi that surrounds the globe at the UN. And the essence of it, in my really coarse transcription, is if you say you are my brother, but you do not care for me, you are not fit to be human. And he said an a cappella piece to this text. LA, the Los Angeles Chamber Orchestra, in response to our current times, let me say, commissioned him to do a takeoff. They want him to set that again, not as the a cappella piece, but in a context of a cantata, completely choral, no soloists, 20 minutes long, in 5 languages. And it spans Spanish from the president of Mexico, Pedro, right? We're talking about 19th century. We're talking about, yes, not now, that's right? But we will be singing this piece in Mexican, Spanish, Hebrew. We'll be singing in English. We'll be singing in Farsi. Also, it's a spectacular piece, and the LA Chamber Orchestra commissioned it with the generosity that they don't have to have the world premiere or the New York premiere, but they gave it to us to do the premiere. So that came from Bezat to, would you guys like to do this? And my answer is yes. It's a spectacular piece. That's the 20-minute work, and then the hour-long oratorio on the experience of the Underground Railroad by Paul Moravec and his award-winning, compatriot in libretto composition, Mark Campbell. They both wrote The Shining, which was a hit in Minneapolis, and it's a big, big, big deal. And Paul, whose work we did before, they're writing for us, really commissioned by Jody Spellman, our former member and Woodside Circle member. They're writing this hour-long piece on Sanctuary Road, which is a pivotal place in Philadelphia that was very, very important to the Underground Railroad. And so we have already in our casting Joshua Blue, the winner of our solo conference here. Malcolm Merriweather in a very incredible role. Rayon Price, who's an amazing mentor with whom I did Mahler 2 about 8 years ago. And we're working on the final soprano and the bass casting. But it's a fantastic piece. It's going to give us great opportunity to do some marvelous things and to really make a statement about the power of choral music in New York City. So, people, let's keep up our momentum with the auction. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.